Next question is determine the number of days to discuss the NOD. Basahin natin yung scenario. Mr. Dalisay received a notice of discrepancy. So alam natin itong notice of discrepancy, ito yung matatanggap ng taxpayer na under audit ng BIR. Ito yung initial na discrepancy, then afterwards magkaroon sila ng discussion. So let's continue. NOD regarding his income tax on March 1. He appeared before the revenue officer on March 10. So lumabas yung NOD March 1 na receive niya. Ngayon, to explain his side, nag-usap sila March 10. But the documents he presented were deemed insufficient. Now, the RO agreed to give him the maximum allowable time under the regulations to present further reconciliation arguments and documents. Kasi insufficient kasi yung ibinigay niya to solve the discrepancy at the NOD stage. Now, what is the absolute final date of Mr. Dalisay? Has to conclude this discussion. Okay. Tandaan natin na pag nakatanggap ka ng NOD, it should be settled within 30 days. Kailangan hindi na ito ma-extend beyond that. Starting from the date kung kailan na-receive yung NOD ng taxpayer. Now, since si Mr. Dalisay received the NOD no March 1, ibig sabihin yung kanyang last day to appear is last day to settle that is March 31. Okay, so we're just very simple question because we're just asking here kung ano yung date ng kanyang last day. So, ang tandaan lang natin dito is mayroon lang 30 days from the date na na-receive. So, the 30th day in this case is March 31. Now, let's deal this twisted question. What if si Mr. Dalisay fails to present the necessary document by the deadline determined above? So, what will happen? Okay, if that happens, and then yung BIR again is not in agreement with the explanation of Mr. Dalisay, having reviewed all the documents presented by Mr. Dalisay and their argument, ang mangyari dito ay i-elevate yung kaso doon sa region at saka yung region ay magpapadala ng preliminary assessment notice. So, yun na yung simula ng formal assessment. Okay? So, after that, makaka-receive siya kung halimbawa walang nangyari sa PAN, makaka-receive siya ng final assessment notice. Ngayon, pag-usapan na naman natin ang tungkol sa PAN at ano yung kanyang importance at yung mga required na content dito para magiging valid. Now, this is the scenario. A taxpayer receives a preliminary assessment notice o tinatawag in short na PAN, assessing a deficiency of 5 million. The PAN lists the total amount due but simply states na this assessment is based on the findings of the revenue officer regarding the underdeclared sales, without citing the specific invoice, provision of the tax violated, or the calculation method used. The taxpayer ignores it. A final assessment notice is subsequently issued. The taxpayer protests the fund, arguing that the process was void ab initio. Now, ang tanong, is the taxpayer correct? Okay. Now, unang-una, tandaan natin na pagdating sa PAN, mayroon ding mga kailangan na i-comply yung mga BIR officer with regard to the content. Hindi lang na ilalagay lang doon na ito yung underdeclared mo at saka wala nang any supporting or facts that will conclude or supporting the such findings. The due process kasi requires the taxpayer to be informed kung ano yung basis ng assessment. Ang law mandates na pag-PAN, kailangan i-show yung detail, yung facts, at saka yung law, rules, at saka jurisprudence sa PAN. The proposed assessment is based. So kaya, kailangan yun. Not necessarily, yun, ilagay ko ano yung resibo. Ngayon kasi, ang kadalasan na ginagawa is, halimbawa, nag-declare ka ng VAT nag-declare ka ng income tax return, mayroon kang sales doon, tapos halimbawa mas mataas yung income tax, mas mataas yung sa VAT kaysa doon sa sales ng income tax. So mangyari, ilalagay nila doon na under-declared yung sales ng income tax mo kasi hindi lahat na-declare sa income tax return yung sales. So doon sila kukuha. Yun yung kadalasan. Mayroon namang iba na ilalagay talaga yung mga resibo kasi kailangan yan to support the argument kung bakit kulang yung under declaration mo. And aside that, kailangan talaga ilalagay yung batas. So, una, facts. Dalawa, ano yung legal basis? Ano yung rules? Jurisprudence. Hmm. Kung walang, pwede nila ilalagay yung rules and regulations, yung RR, or kung walang batas supporting that, or the jurisprudence. But of course, they are interrelated. Now, itong facts, kailangan din ito. Kasi ito yung pagbasihan kung bakit meron silang i-explain na legal basis. Yung mga ganon. So, a general statement is insufficient kasi sinabi lang kasi dito na this assessment is based on the findings. Wala namang sinabi na ano yung detail at saka ano yung batas. That is the basis that such finding is supported by the law. Yun. So that's why it is not considered as valid. So kung ang sabi dito is the taxpayer correct kasi nag-protest kasi ang taxpayer, sabi ng taxpayer dito na violated daw. A provision tax code is violated. Then the taxpayer, the taxpayer protest the fund at saka arguing na void ab initio daw. Why? It is because mali na nga yung fund na nilagay dito. Okay? So, is the taxpayer correct? Ang sagot is yes. So, it could be one of these two. So, tingnan lang natin yung kanilang argument. Ano yun dito? So, sabi ni B, yes kasi because the fund failed to state the facts, the law, regulation, the jurisprudence, which is correct, which the assessment was based. Letter D naman, yes, because if the taxpayer can prove they did not receive the fund. No. Hindi naman ito nangyari. Naka-receive naman talaga sila ng PAN, kaya lang wala siyang fax law. So therefore, letter B is the correct answer in this case. Now let's go to the what if question. What if the assessment was strictly for mathematical error? Okay, now let's try to remember na mayroong mga cases, tax cases talaga na or deficiency na hindi na kailangan ng PAN. It is because very simple, in a very simple ground, like mali lang yung mathematical error, mali lang yung pagka-compute. May iba doon na mali yung na-involve na case is withholding tax. So wala yung PAN. You can review your notes kung ano yung mga iba pa na nandun. I think 4 yan. But I'm not sure kung isigurado talaga. Basta try to review your notes, nandun yan. So hindi lahat mayroong PAN. Baka sa susunod kasi you're expecting na mayroon ka talagang PAN and yon nabigla ka na lang baka they skip the PAN and they go directly to the fund. So yon, it's because there are some tax deficiencies that do not require PAN